person before we dive into the program. So you can shout so that at least they can hear. Can we help close that door so that the noise is not that strong?
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Nice to see your faces. And it was rather unfortunate that I came late. I didn't go through all the presentations, but the few ones I saw, congratulations on what you've been able to accomplish so far. Though there's still a long road ahead, but that's great so far. So my name is Tabi Idris. Like you said earlier, I'm a software engineer with literally over 10 years of experience. I've worked with a couple of people in the communities, basically with WordPress and Flutter. And I wouldn't say I know so much. I'm still learning just like you guys, right? And I look forward to learn from you and from the other members of the panel.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tambe Salome. I graduated from the Faculty of Engineering and Technology as a software engineer. I've gone through a cyber security training program through the Cyber Girls program, a 7 months mentorship program. Recently, I also just completed the outreachy internship, contributing to the OCAML organization. I've worked for Mavians, a fintech company based in Douala. And yeah, I'm a happy person and I'm happy to be here. And hopefully I'm able to inspire you some way, or maybe you're able to learn from my experience in one way or the other. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, my name is Joseph Ilinonge. A lot of people know me as the orator because I was born to speak and I help people learn how to speak. But aside that, I am a certified Start and Improve Your Business trainer with the International Labour Organization's awaiting certification. What that means is I'm a business consultant. I help businesses grow and I help people come up with new businesses every other day. I'm not a tech guy, but I have a lot to say when it comes to the tech space. And in a very special way, it's nice to meet all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have a developer, patent engineer. We have community person, and we have a node developer in our midst. We have a fraudster in our midst. So before we start, I would like to ask, or we're starting with a one question for Idris. What's life like being a developer? Tell us your routine.
All right. I would say I'm one of those people who doesn't really have a routine, apart from the fact that if you write me at 3 a.m., there's a high probability I'll reply you 2 minutes later. But I won't say I really have a routine because apart from being a developer, my life is also mixed with entrepreneurship. And like he says, I'm a part-time developer. I'm one of those people who's like to try to find a balance between work and my social life. I don't play with that. But if I have to call what I have as a routine, I'm up every morning, 5 a.m., go out for a run. After my run, I come back home. Depending on what I have to do, which is the most pressing for that day, that day it will determine if I have to sit in front of my computer or step out. But there's definitely not a day that is going to go by without you seeing me in front of my PC at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., or 4 a.m. trying to write code. So generally, every day I'm out trying to look for one opportunity or the other, and at night I'm in front of my computer trying to write code or look for other opportunities or grants I can apply for.
Okay, you're saying so much that you're up at night. Do you sleep?
Weekdays, I could count like 2-3 hours maximum for sleep. And maybe go like that for like 2 weeks, then look for 1 day and just catch up.
So you batch your sleep?
Yeah.
And how does that work?
At times it's tiring. At times you feel like you have like a breakdown. During weekdays, you can not even work. There are days when you just wake up and feel like, if I touch that computer today, or you're probably seated in front of it, but you can't do anything.
Okay. Now, please, let's talk to Salome, right? He's a guy. He has his 24 hours used up. Now, forgive me, but as a girl, there are lots of things that comes with it, right? Mm-hmm. House, expectations, and lots of other things. Tell us about your own life as a developer.
Well, for me, I also wake up quite early, around 5:30. No, that's not very early. And I go to the gym, come back, make breakfast for my parents, have a bath, and then sit on my computer or until around 5. That's when people start getting back. Probably have to make food for my mom, set up the table, and then maybe I can return back to work. But I do sleep. I sleep a lot. Maybe I'm in bed by 10:30. I try to be in bed at 10:30, but most times it goes to 12, and then I sleep most times till the morning. When I sleep, I don't wake up in the middle of the night most times. So I try to do my work and finish with the work for the day before going to bed.
So you're a no-night person?
Most times, yes.
So if I write you at 3 a.m. that the code that you deploy to production is crashing, it will crash?
My phone is on Do Not Disturb.
Wow. Her phone is on Do Not Disturb. So she prioritizes her rest, which is very important. I mean, him saying he does not sleep that much, he knows how he catches up. So it's not one size fits all. He does not sleep, he's productive. She sleeps, she's productive. Let's hear from the non-engineer. Actually, I'm going to be calling you that too often.
Okay, my life is very simple and very stress-free. What that means is, up until this coming Sunday, where I'll be starting something really stressful, it's really going to be very stressful for me. Waking up from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. to train people on public speaking who are not even in Cameroon. I have to do that because of the difference in the time. That is really going to stress the living hell out of me. But, I mean, it's part of the hustle. But normally, Mondays are my beach days. That's the only time I relax, play football.
Your beach days?
Yeah, my beach days. Mondays. Beach days, play football, run around. I do cook a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, I do cook a lot.
So are you single?
I do cook a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, so... But aside that, is always training. I'm always on my computer most of the time. For people who are not doing one-on-one sessions with me, either on business or on communication, But most often I'm always on my laptop doing something, working on some proposal, working on some document, working with somebody somewhere on some training. So, but my life is, I don't joke with my sleep. So I feel bad that Sunday is coming, and for the next 2 months, it's really going to be very stressful, but I don't joke with my sleep at all.
No, we are not done with you.
Okay.
You're on your laptop a lot of your times. They are coding. What are you doing?
So I do a lot of research.
Okay, you do a lot of research.
As a trainer, you always need to upgrade, right? So the way I organize a training session now has to be completely different, if not completely. Yeah, there has to be an upgrade for the next session, because through this first session, you learn a thing or two that you can implement in the next session. So I'm always revising, always upgrading my skills, always adding knowledge.
So there's improved continuous development in yourself.
Leaders are readers, so I don't joke with reading.
Okay. Just give us like 2 books which you recommend.
So the first book I would recommend any day, anytime is Power.
Power.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure a lot of us have come across Power. It's a very beautiful, beautiful book. Okay. The next book, as a communications person, is How to Talk to Anyone. So that book shares secrets.
How we are taking them down.
Yeah, how to talk to anyone, anywhere, any day. So it shares some secrets of how you can approach people. That some of us say we don't even know how to walk up to someone and say, hey, my name is this. So that book teaches you a lot about communication. And as a communications lover, I have a lot of those books that I can share with us afterwards.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Let's get to Salome. Now, we've deviated a bit out of the coding. Let's come back to it. These participants here have learned React, JavaScript, and a bit of React Native for the past, let's say, 3 months. Can you tell us your programming journey, the languages which you have learned, why you changed from one language to other, how things affected your life?
Okay. So my programming journey has not been entirely straightforward. I started with the C programming language, with a very good book, C Programming: A Modern Approach. it was nice to learn programming at such a low level, understanding the various intricacies. But I wasn't totally interested in. So a lot of what we see when we talk about programming here is maybe building websites, building applications. But I wasn't so interested in that. So I decided to explore like cybersecurity. So I took like the 7 months Cyber Girls program. But there wasn't a lot of programming there. I thought that there would be maybe small programming around, but it was a lot of reading, and I realized the reason why I did not do biology in the first place is I don't want to be reading so much.
That makes us 2.
You can add me to that list.
Okay, 3 persons I run away from
there are
biology.
parts of cybersecurity where you probably be coding, but I wasn't getting. I didn't know what that would be at that point. So I sort of moved. During my final year internship period, I explored infrastructure as code and all of that, Docker, Terraform, and the like. And I also did an internship at Digital Renter before that, where I was building things with Laravel and PHP. So I've literally just been like all over the place. And when I went for so I was accepted for a graduate program at Mavians, January 2025. That's when it started. And we're moving across various teams, starting with quality assurance testing, and then moving to back-end with PHP, and then React, front-end React Native, React Admin, and all of the like. So I've pretty much touched a lot of things everywhere. But I think starting with C was sort of a solid foundation. So programming is just knowing how to do things, where to find things. How does this code take in data? What is being done with the data, and what does the user expect to get at the end of everything that happens in this black box system? So that's what I understand with programming. So when I get into a particular code base, I just know I need to understand what is happening. I need to understand the flow. So not depending on the programming language. Programming is programming. So I just need to understand what programming is, and that's what C, programming the modern approach, taught me. And I've been able to move across various programming languages wherever I find myself.
So you will say that the C that you learned, you were learning concepts.
Yes, I was learning
concepts. You learned
concepts
the
of
basics, and
yes.
it helped you to get into other languages.
Yes.
Okay.
With ease.
With ease. And you don't regret touching those other ones?
No, they have all been like learning experiences. Mm-hmm.
So what will you do now?
What will I do now?
In one sentence.
Keep learning and exploring until I find my footing.
Okay, so you're still there. You're still on the journey.
Yes, I'm still on the journey.
Okay.
It's never certain.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause for her. Now let's go to Idris. Salome has learned all of these programming languages. She has built things like you, but you have moved from just building software to selling to clients, to selling softwares to businesses, to having people you're talking to. How does those two things relate? You coding and you being an entrepreneur from any direction?
I would say the way those two things relate is the fact that me being able to understand, first of all, how the solution to a particular, because an entrepreneur means you're being able to provide solutions to specific problems, right, that plague our society. Me being able to understand how the solution works in terms of the technicality for that particular problem, right, I'm able to sell or be able to talk to people and get exactly what their problems are, what their needs are, and adapt my software to exactly fit their needs. So programming is actually the main thing that has helped me to be able, or understanding programming, like Salome said, is what has been able to help me translate those needs to the software that we need to solve those problems.
Okay. I'm sure you have also worked with teams.
Yes, I have.
Right? And you've worked with teams where there's been a lot of ups and downs. Just share us an experience with, tell us how you work with teams.
Well, working with teams, actually, it depends, especially if you're either team manager. Let's take the team manager, for example.
Let's start with you being a member of the team where you have a manager?
Being a member of the team where I had a manager, my experience is that you actually really needed to be a team player. You have to be open-minded and realize that the way you learned how to do things, for example, Salome started with C. I started with Java. I learned C, yeah, but it was just a basic thing for school. I didn't really go deep into C, so I know a bit of binary stuff, but I started with Java, which is like a more higher level language. And so we don't both have the same background. Being part of the team, I had to understand that not every member of the team has the same background like I do. There are things somebody else is going to know that I don't know. And I have to learn how to accommodate other people's behavior. And more so, we always had to look up to somebody who has better. And I think one of the highest things I learned being part of a team is that no question is stupid enough. If you don't know, ask questions. If somebody assigns a task to you, especially your team lead, and you don't understand what it is, ask as many times as possible. Ask till it is clear to you before you go ahead and do whatever thing you have to do. Because going ahead to do work which you've not understood what exactly you're supposed to do will just simply bring the team back to that particular task, and that's just waste of time.
Okay, thank you. Let's keep to that end. You ended up with ask good questions. Now we go to the communications expert here. How do you ask a question so that you don't feel stupid?
How do you...
Do some people feel stupid sometimes when they want to ask questions?
Yeah, I used to.
Okay, so demystify that process of asking a question so that you don't feel stupid and you also get the best answer and you don't get to feel like the person whom you're asking to, you're bothering that person.
Okay, so one thing that we need to understand is that no question is actually stupid, especially in the corporate space, right? That's one thing we have to know. The second thing we have to know is that learning never ends, right? And there's nobody who has mastery of everything in this life. So once we're able to realize that no question is stupid and learning never ends, we will not be afraid of asking questions. We're asking questions because we want to understand. Like he said, it's better to ask as many questions as possible than to feel like you've understood something and end up doing the wrong thing.
I mean, like 200 questions in one day. That's too many, right?
That's way too many, brother. Like, that's way too many. So, long and short of this, if you have a question, if you're given a task, if you have an assignment that, you need to deliver, if you have questions, please look for a way to summarize the questions. And it's not every boss that is very available enough to be answering, all your 20 questions or your 10 questions. Sometimes you would have just a 1 minute, a 2 minute, to ask questions and get clarifications, right? So even before approaching these people, look for a way to summarize those questions in such a way that the answer will become easy for you to comprehend.
Okay. Grace.
Okay, so about asking the 200 questions that you might have you checked the resources that were given to you, that those questions have not already been answered? So you don't want to ask questions that answers already exist for them. Yes, answers are already available for them.
Where are the resources?
Google is your friend.
Google is your friend. There's probably documentation somewhere that somebody has written. Most companies keep documentations for their various products that they have.
Startups, the documentation is the developer.
True.
Since we are talking about programming here, right? Every programming language has an official documentation added to Stack Overflow, added to Google, added to all the wiki pages. Before you ask your question, make sure you've done some research. That even helps you to learn better. If you do your research on your own, you even learn far more than what the person is going to explain to you. Going to your supervisor or your colleague to ask questions at times is just a shortcut after your research, and the person might just point out something to you. Another thing I actually forgot to mention is when you're asking your questions or when you have issues and you're working with a team, know that it's not every team member that is going to give you a direct answer to your question. I had a typical example, Nobel. Like, I worked with him, and several times other people in the team had issues with him, but this guy will never give you an answer to your question directly. When you ask him a question, what he does is he asks you, what did you do? When you explain to him what you've done, he will ask you, did you look at it this other way? Did you think of it this other way? He simply tell you, go and do research in this way. You learn more than if he didn't give you the answer before. He knows the answer, but he will never give you. So you go and look at it this way. He's still actually helping you out.
Yeah.
So there's a website, Don't Ask to Ask, and it actually like summarizes like how to ask questions. If you want to ask,
what was the website?
don'tasktoask.com. Yes,
Please,
.com.
not it.
Just
Don't ask to ask.
Yeah. So like when you're asking a question, you should just clearly state like everything that you have done, the resources that you have visited, what you have experienced, the errors that you're having. Like state everything so that the person doesn't have to come and be asking a lot of follow-up questions to actually understand what you need.
So no ambiguity.
Yes, no ambiguity. You should be as clear and concise as possible.
Okay. That's great. I'm sure we will be able to ask the right questions now, because I noticed that a lot of you were either sometimes scared or worried, or sometimes your mentor was not readily available. But there's always going to be a way for you to get that person to answer. Now we go to the communications expert, Joseph. How do you get somebody who is not available to answer you? Somebody who is very busy. How do you maneuver yourself around so that you can get the best out of that mentor, that coach, that supervisor, that person?
Okay, I'll take myself as an example. Working with Jungle Hub full time, it's not every time that you would have access to my boss, because he's not even in the country. He's always very busy. So our communication strategy is simple. Sometimes I'll just leave him a message. If I realize that he's not online at the time, I'll place a call.
Okay.
Right? I'll place a call. Leave a message. Wait. If it's so important, even before calling, because we know some people have very complicated jobs, and you will not want to ruin somebody's job by just calling them at once. So
he could just lose his mind.
Yeah. And the moment he loses his mind,
he was going to send it back on you.
Back to sender. And it's going to be a not so very good experience. So just imagine he's having a bad day, and then you're calling him and all of that. So I would greatly suggest we leave a message first, right? If the message has not been replied after 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes, then we can place a call. If it's very urgent, by the end of the day, I think it's very important to just know who you are dealing with, because there are people who are really complicated like that. There are people you can just call and they will still be available to answer you. There are people you call them, it's a problem. So just know who you are working with, leave a message. If you need urgent reply, then you call.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Let's put hands together for that. Let's go to Salome. We've talked coding, communications. Let's go to life out of coding. What are the things that you've been doing that are not necessarily coding that has helped to propel you to where you are today?
Community work.
Okay.
So I started volunteering for Google Developer Student Club when I joined the university. And in my last year of university, I became the club lead. And all of this has helped me to be able to interact with people. Generally, I am a shy person. Like I don't really like talking to people or talking to crowds. But when
who's a shy person here? Okay, we have shy people.
But when you're volunteering in communities, you have to interact with people because they'll be having a lot of questions. And since you're like a face of the community, you have to answer those questions relating to the community. So yeah, that's one of the things that has helped me, like in life generally, because even as a programmer, you have to explain what your code does. You need to explain what you did the previous days during stand-up, and if you are unable to talk, then nobody will be able to know the work that you have done. So yeah.
Is that only on GDSC?
GDSC, GDG Boya, and we even started an OAPS Boya community, which is cybersecurity related.
So you encourage people to get into community and volunteerism aspects? Yes,
but definitely.
They are in school and they're busy.
It can't be that busy. And like this thing is a community, and you have this program because of community. It's because people decided to take their time to train you, and if you don't give if you don't give, you'll not be able to gain. Like the IWD team gives gain. If somebody has given you this much knowledge and you don't give it back to the next generation, will not be able to transfer talents across, and we'll just end up with a community that doesn't know what they're doing in the end.
So no matter how
busy you get, you need to continue giving because you have been given to also.
Great. Thank you very much, Salome. Continue giving, learn, and grow. You said you're a shy person. Let's get to Idris, right? Idris is the part-time engineer. I'll call him like that always, and doesn't mean that he's bad, right? It's a nice person. He knows how to mix the social life and the coding life. Let's get to social media. How has social media been impactful to you in your journey?
Let's be honest. Before 2023, I was a non-social media person.
You did not have accounts?
I did have accounts, but you could barely see anything on them.
Okay.
Because I know the dangers of social media. Already, positive publicity has a lot of consequences, talk less of negative. But when I got into entrepreneurship and had to start pitching Motowa and needed the world to see what I was doing, and even when I started leading the WordPress community, social media became a tool for me even up to now. I think it's through social media which I had some of the best opportunities, which I had to travel around. So I would say social media is a very useful tool for us if you use it positively. Make sure everything you're doing is actually reflecting on your social media account, because in most opportunities nowadays, even if you're applying for grants, for example, the one I'm used to, the MWF grant, if you're applying for it, the first thing they will ask you, if you're a business owner or even like a community leader or something, they want to see your social media account. They will ask you for your LinkedIn, ask you for your Facebook, ask you for your Twitter account, and any other which you can showcase your work. They believe that if you're actually doing something for your community, there is no way you want to keep it to yourself. You want people to see. So you definitely have it on social media.
Okay, thank you. I would like to also hear from Salome. Then we'll go to social media. You're shy. Are you still shy?
Yes.
So how a lot of people here are shy. How will they overcome it?
You just need to do it. Like you just need to do it. You just need to do it even if you're shy. I mean, nobody really cares like that. You just need to make that post. You must not post every time, and you must not post every single detail. You just need to be strategic about what you're sharing. I've attended this 3 months, I don't know how long was it, 3 months,
yes.
3 months program, and this is what I've learned. It mustn't be 100 words. I mean, it mustn't be 1,000 words. It can just, like, there's no format. I know a lot of people write so many things on LinkedIn.
Everybody's thrilled to.
Yeah, everybody's thrilled to. But you mustn't write that much. It just needs to be you, like your story.
Be authentic.
The way you want to put it. But just put it. Yes, just put it. Highlight the points, and you must not go into every single detail. Yeah, do do it.
Do it.
Yes.
Let's talk with Mr. Joseph here. Can you give us maybe a framework that you think that we can use to publicize ourselves on social media?
A framework?
Yes.
Okay. So the first thing is to know your niche, right? Identify your niche. Because don't post on public speaking today, post on women giving birth tomorrow, post on market getting burnt in Kumba the next day. Know your niche. Know the audience that you're writing to. Okay? I'll take LinkedIn as a very big example. I have been active. No, I've been on social media just like my brother here, but I've not been super active. And Peter always used to query me, say, bro, you teach public speaking so good. Why are you not out there? Why are you not posting us? Every time he meets me at Jungle Hub, he always talk about that. So I decided to get on LinkedIn this year. And earlier I spoke about having or starting a training on Sunday. It's through LinkedIn that I got that international client who is going to pay me 5 figures, just to learn how to speak, just to learn how to sell their ideas. So the first thing,
So somebody's paying you online?
Online.
You've not met the person?
I've never met the person.
Okay.
So Know your audience. Communication has money, just so you know.
So we can leave programming and...
No, don't leave programming. Maybe you can add communication as a bonus. You know, a programmer who is an amazing communicator is just everything nice. So know your audience. Of course, when you post, be very consistent. Sometimes you post, you have 1 like, so you have 0 likes. So if you want to go and be following the likes on LinkedIn, on Facebook, you give up. Know your audience, be consistent, know where you're going to, right? Know where you're going to, and know the language that works for the audience that you're trying to attract, pretty much.
Thank you very much. We're almost wrapping up. 1 or 2 more questions, and then we'll give final conclusions. We'll take this now to Idris. Our participants here, we strongly forbade them from using AI in their development. I hope we didn't use it.
We hope.
Now, but then it's unfortunate or fortunate that we cannot run away from AI. How do you see that transition between the non-AI generation developers and the AI generation developers? How should people responsibly use AI in development, especially the young ones that are coming up?
I would say AI is not something that we can run away from it. Unfortunately, we cannot. But I will speak from the aspect of being a programmer, and something which I will say I've actually experienced myself. So last year, I started a project on Python without learning Python properly. And I wasted 6 weeks trying to prompt that project to life. I got something. It was working. But it had a lot of bugs and glitches, which was annoying to the client, and had to go back and learn the basics of Python to be able to get that project done. So what I would say is, for every new programmer or anybody who is interested in being a programmer, in fact, every subject matter, by the way, before you go to AI, make sure you understand what you're doing. AI is going to help you speed up your work, not do the work for you. Many people think he's doing the work for you because he writes the code. I think that's a huge argument on the internet right now. Like, he's writing the code. What's the need for junior developers or developers at all? But trust me, if you don't know your stuff, you don't know your subject matter very well, that's the only time when you're going to be fighting with AI being relevant than you are. But if you know your subject matter, you know your stuff very well, you know the in-depth, not just the shallow thing, then by all means, get used to prompt engineering, use AI, and there's nothing to worry about.
So you were talking, I saw Salome, she was like, something is in my head. Let's hear it.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes, yes. But most times I try not to, especially when I'm learning, because I want to, when you're learning, you want to learn, and you don't just want to, you don't just want it to, yes, you don't just want it to do the thing for you, because it can, but would you understand what it has done? And in as much as AI is so powerful now, it can do all of these beautiful things and build all of these wonderful systems. We need human beings to be able to think and develop and improve those systems. And if we hand all of our thinking to these AI agents, we will build the next systems that are better than the AI agents that we currently have. So we need to keep learning, even if you're using the AI to make your work faster. What are you doing to learn more than what the AI is actually doing in a way that you're training the AI? Like when Gemini just came in, you had to be directing it. No, I don't want this. This is actually how I want it to go. This is not correct. You want to be able to do that with an AI agent that you're using. You want to be able to know what you want so that if it goes in the wrong direction, you're able to tell it, no, this is not what I expect. I want it to come this way instead. And you want to be able to build systems that are better than what AI is currently and what AI can currently build. So we need to continue learning while using AI and doing more things.
AI in communication.
The temptation will most likely be, I'll just go on ChatGPT and get all the resources and all that. And like Salome said, if we have to rely on AI to think for us every single time, At the moment you get to 40, 50, they'll ask you 5 times 10. You will not know the answer. Because your brain...
Maybe you must have been wired to an AI that automatically fits the solution into your brain.
Because your brain will be so AI dependent. AI is good, but excessive use of AI is dangerous in the long run.
Okay, thank you. Let's put our hands together for everyone. Now we ask that question. Is coding enough? We'll start, these are the concluding statements from our panelists. We'll start with Idris. Is coding enough? Apart from coding, what else should these young folks who have just finished this 3 months program get into? Or what should they know? Is coding enough even?
No, coding is not enough.
Okay.
Even if you just want to stay a developer all your life, coding is not enough. Like Joseph said earlier, you need to be able to sell yourself, because as a developer, especially with the market right now, it's tough to get jobs. And I'm sure all of us here don't want to work for small firms. We are probably looking at the Fortune 500, right? How do you get into that door? You need to be able to get good CVs. You need to be able to communicate. And even when you have the job, how do you communicate with your team? You need to be able to sell yourself very well to be able to get to the level which you want to get. So coding is not enough.
Thank you. Salome, is coding enough? Maybe you can say yes, sir. You must not agree.
I don't think coding is enough. Coding itself is just a small aspect of computer science as a whole. And computer science is not even enough. Yeah. So even in the space of computer science, coding is not enough, because you need to understand how systems work, how to correctly architect your systems, how to correctly manage the data that you have. Coding
compliance.
Yes, compliance, all of that. How to sell your product, all of that, and everything around the tech space. And you also need to learn how to teach, because if you know how to code everything, but there's nobody to maintain those systems after you, there's nobody to do the work that you did, you're able to transfer knowledge to another person who is equally able to manage it as well as you did, then you have done very badly. So coding is not enough.
Thank you very much. For you, I'm going to tweak it a bit, right? You have been at Jungle Hub for years, worked with a lot of developers, right, who are focused on coding. What are those extra things that you know that developers need out of that coding? Because they have already said it's not enough. I'm not going to care asking you. So what are those other things?
Okay, so as a non-tech guy, each time I walk around and I see engineers writing things, I'll say writing things because most often I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on. But the most interesting part is what these codes are able to produce at the end of the day, all the amazing solutions that we come up with. Coding is nice, but aside being somebody who codes, I will still come back to, you should be able to communicate the value that your code is providing. Because at the end of the day, if as an engineer, you're able to write an amazing code and you cannot stand somewhere to sell the solution, there's a problem. Well, there's not really a problem. You come and pay me, I'll still do it for you. So I'll make money, but you lose money. So that's actually still a problem. But aside being able to communicate your solution beautifully, another thing that we need to learn as developers is we should learn how to collaborate. Collaboration. Are we together? Are we together? Let's give ourselves power. Power. We should be able to learn how to collaborate. Most often I see the teams there at Jungle Hub, a team of two, team of three, working beautifully well. And that's so nice because this idea comes in, and together or collectively, they are able to come up with solutions that will last. Aside that, we should be able to, in fact, collaboration and teamwork is the same thing. So aside from being an amazing, is there a word like coder? Yeah. An amazing person who codes, right? You should consider improving on your soft skills, especially communication skill. Please don't play with that particular skill. Most often we feel like it's not important, but the moment we stand in front of people, we mess up so bad. So many people got me at 1 a.m. after messing up a presentation, and they want me to teach them public speaking. That's good. And one last thing, Martin, public speaking or communication does not really mean public speaking. So what I mean by that is communication does not mean standing in front of people to talk. If you are working with a team, you communicate with your teammates. If you are having a meeting, they'll ask you a question, what task do you have to do this week? You communicate. It does not need you to stand up and speak, right?
When you go to sell, you communicate.
Even when you go to sell, you communicate.
When you want to raise funding, you communicate. When you want to chat a girl, you communicate. So
we need communication in literally everything we do. Guys, let's not sleep on this particular skill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together for them. It's been an amazing about 30 to 40 minutes of them talking, sharing their experiences on coding, things that they have done out of coding, community experience, communication, system design, architecture.